It's happening, and it's ugly. Boomers are dumping their sailboats faster than the market can absorb them. Marinas are filling up with for sale signs. Asking prices are dropping month after month. Some boats are practically being given away. And the worst part? No one's buying. This isn't just a little market correction, it's a generational collapse. The people who built the sailing lifestyle, who filled the docks and chased the horizon for decades, are aging out. They're selling off the dream. And Gen Z? Millennials? They're not picking it up. Not even close. Boatyards are turning into graveyards. Brokers are sitting on listings for months, even years. And that beautiful 50-footer you saved your whole life for? You might not be able to give it away, let alone sell it. This is the great boomer boat sell-off. And the sailing world might never recover. For decades, baby boomers were the backbone of the sailing world. They bought the boats, filled the marinas, and kept the industry afloat, literally. But now, they're walking away from it all. One by one, they're listing their boats for sale, not because they want to, but because they have to. Age, health, rising costs, and the simple realities of time are forcing their hand. And what's unfolding is a massive, quiet exodus that's flooding the market. We're not talking about a few boats here and there. We're talking thousands. The used sailboat market is saturated like never before. Go on any listing site and scroll. You'll see pages of mid-size cruisers, blue water boats, and even newer models all looking for a home. The sellers? Mostly boomers, many of whom sailed these boats across oceans through their retirement or used them for weekend escapes. Now, they're ready to move on. But the buyers? They're not showing up. What's worse is that this sell-off isn't being matched by demand. These boats are sitting. Some for months, others for years. The prices are dropping, the listings are stacking up, and sellers are slashing asking prices just to get attention. It's not uncommon to see once premium cruisers like the Valiant 42 or the Beneteau 50 going for a fraction of their former value. We're entering fire sale territory. The result is a kind of quiet desperation. Brokers are overwhelmed. Marina slip turnover has stalled. Some owners are even abandoning boats rather than paying another year of dock fees or insurance. And while this might sound like a dream scenario for a buyer, it's actually a warning sign. A market flooded with aging inventory and no next-gen buyers? That's not healthy. That's a collapse in slow motion. The sailing world is watching a generational shift happen, and it's not going smoothly. Boomers who poured time, money, and heart into this lifestyle are being met with silence from younger generations who just aren't interested in stepping into their shoes. The dream is changing, and the old model, owning a large, well-equipped sailboat for decades, is dying with it. This is the great boomer boat sell-off. It's real, it's happening, and if you're in the market, it's impossible to ignore. The numbers don't lie. There are simply too many sailboats on the market, and not enough people willing or able to buy them. It's the bitter reality brokers, sellers, and marina managers are waking up to every day, and it's threatening to drag the entire used sailboat market into long-term decline. The glut started with good intentions. Boomers who spent decades sailing are ready to move on, downsizing, aging out, or just shifting gears in life. So they put their boats up for sale. But here's the problem. There's no one standing in line to buy them. Younger generations are either priced out, disinterested, or just not drawn to the idea of full-time boat ownership the way their parents were. This isn't just anecdotal, it's visible. Go to any major used boat listing site and scroll through the results. You'll find page after page of 40 to 50-foot sailboats, classic cruisers, offshore-capable rigs, and coastal gems, all sitting at slashed prices. And still, no bites. Boats that used to move in weeks now sit for months, even years. This overstock is doing real damage. Prices are collapsing. Sellers are getting desperate. Brokers are stuck holding bloated inventories with dwindling commissions. Boats are being stripped and sold for parts, abandoned in yards, or left to rot at the docks. It's a slow, painful unraveling of a market that once thrived. Meanwhile, the industry continues building new boats, chasing a customer base that isn't there. The disconnect is growing. Sailing clubs are aging, marinas are half empty, and entire regions have more boats than sailors to handle them. And still, more used boats come onto the market every day. This isn't just a blip, it's a generational disconnect. The boomers built the sailing world, and now that they're stepping back, the whole thing is teetering. Millennials and Gen Z aren't filling the gap. They don't have the same financial footing, the same desire for ownership, or the same relationship with the sea. Too many boats, no buyers. That's the brutal truth. And unless the sailing world adapts fast, it's going to face a reckoning. Because a boat without a buyer is just a floating liability, and right now, there are a lot of liabilities on the water. It's a buyer's market, if you still want the dream. But behind the rock-bottom prices, there's a troubling reality unfolding. used sailboat values are in free fall, and no one in the industry is ready to say it out loud. What's happening is simple economics. The market is oversupplied. Boomers are unloading boats en masse, many of them 30, 40, even 50-footers that were once the gold standard for long-range cruising. The trouble is, the demand just isn't there to meet the surge. Younger buyers are scarce, and the few who are shopping are holding out for deep discounts or simply opting for smaller, cheaper boats. As a result, prices are tanking. It's not uncommon to see once $200,000 yachts listed for under $90,000, and still not moving. Boats that were priced to sell a year ago are now being relisted for tens of thousands less. Some owners, tired of paying slip fees and maintenance, are practically giving them away. This crash isn't limited to a specific size or brand either. Mid-range blue water boats like the Halberg Rossi 42, Beneteau Oceanus 46, and Jeannot Sun Odyssey 44 have all taken hits. Even premium brands aren't immune. Buyers know they have leverage and they're using it. After all, if the market's only going down, why rush? The financial implications are brutal. Longtime owners are watching their assets depreciate faster than they ever expected. A boat they bought for retirement sailing is now worth half of what it was 5 years ago. For some, that's a gut punch. They thought they'd sell and fund the next chapter of life. Now they're looking at losses or walking away entirely. Worse still, the collapse is undermining confidence across the board. Brokers are less willing to take on older listings. Marinas are stuck with unpaid fees as boats languish, and insurers are becoming pickier about older vessels. If your boat's market value drops below its coverage threshold, good luck keeping it insured. The crash also spells trouble for people still holding out hope that their boat is worth what it used to be. It's not, and in many cases the longer they wait, the less they'll get. Bottom line, the used sailboat market is in the middle of a hard reset. For sellers, it's a brutal reality. For buyers with cash, it's an opportunity. But for the sailing industry as a whole, it's a warning siren that the old rules don't apply anymore. When an entire generation stops buying, owning, and maintaining boats, the consequences ripple far beyond the second-hand market. And that's exactly what's starting to happen in the sailing industry. What began as a trickle of listings and price drops is now threatening the economic backbone of marinas, builders, service providers, and sailing communities everywhere. Let's be clear, the sailing industry was built on the backs of baby boomers. They bought the boats, paid the slip fees, hired the mechanics, replaced the rigging, and joined the yacht clubs. They were the customer base. Now that they're aging out or stepping away, the entire ecosystem is losing its lifeblood. The impact is already showing. Boat brokers are sitting on stale listings, struggling to close deals. Marinas are facing rising vacancy rates, with long-term slip holders walking away and younger prospects unwilling or unable to commit. Even high-end service yards are seeing a dip because people aren't investing in long-term refits. They're trying to unload before the boat becomes a money pit. Then there's the builders. Many are still cranking out new boats, hoping to attract a younger, more digital-savvy buyer, but the orders aren't coming in fast enough. Custom and semi-custom yards are especially vulnerable. They're built for high-touch service and specialized production, but that only works if someone's actually writing the checks. Sailing schools, too, are feeling the squeeze. They're training new sailors, yes, but not in the same numbers, and not all those students are translating into boat owners. Some want the skills but not the responsibility. They're chartering, crewing, or just learning for the sake of experience. The fallout is hitting hard in the second-hand support economy, too. Marine surveyors, sailmakers, riggers, electronics specialists, many of them small, independent businesses, are watching their client base shrink. Less ownership means fewer upgrades, fewer repairs, fewer insurance surveys. It's a slow bleed. And the cultural impact? That's maybe the saddest part. Yacht clubs are graying, cruising associations are shrinking, anchorages once filled with dreamers and full-keel warriors now sit half-empty. The energy is fading. The sailing industry wasn't ready for this shift. It clung to its core customer base too long and didn't adapt fast enough. Now it's scrambling, and unless it figures out how to appeal to the next generation, affordably, accessibly, and sustainably, the fallout will only get worse. The boats may still be floating, but the system around them, it's taking on water fast. Not long ago, owning a sailboat was the dream, a symbol of freedom, adventure, and self-reliance. You saved up, bought your boat, kept it in a marina or yard, and spent weekends or entire seasons chasing the horizon. But now, that model's cracking. And for a growing number of sailors and would-be sailors, boat ownership feels more like a burden than a dream. Let's be honest, owning a boat isn't cheap. It never was. But today's economic landscape has made it even harder to justify. Rising mooring fees, marina wait lists, maintenance costs, insurance hikes, fuel, upgrades, it all adds up. And with used boat values crashing and younger buyers facing housing shortages and student debt, the question becomes, why own a boat at all? The next generation isn't sold on ownership. Millennials and Gen Z are more experience-driven. They value flexibility, freedom from fixed assets, and sustainability. They don't want to spend every Saturday sanding teak or replacing a head gasket. They want to sail when they can, where they can, without the year-round overhead. And thanks to modern charter platforms, boat clubs, and peer-to-peer rentals, they can. Boat sharing programs, co-ownership arrangements, and pay-as-you-sail models are on the rise. For a fraction of the cost of owning, sailors can hop aboard a fully maintained vessel and be off the dock in minutes. No hauling, no bottom paint, no slip fees, just sailing. And that's hard to compete with. The idea of full ownership, being the sole captain, the sole caretaker, the one who handles every repair and every bill, is starting to look outdated, especially when the reward is only a few weeks of actual use per year for most people. This shift doesn't mean people are abandoning sailing, far from it, but they are abandoning the old ownership model. And if the industry doesn't evolve with them, it risks alienating the very people it needs to survive. So, is boat ownership dead? Not entirely, but it's definitely dying for the average person. It's becoming the realm of the wealthy, the nostalgic, or the hardcore. For everyone else, the future of sailing may lie in access, not ownership. And maybe, just maybe, that's not a bad thing. As long as people are still getting on the water, chasing sunsets, and feeling the pull of the wind, maybe how they get there doesn't matter as much as it used to. So there it is. The truth no one in the industry wants to talk about. Boomers are dumping boats, prices are tanking, marinas are emptier, brokers are scrambling, and the next generation? They're not stepping in the way we hoped they would. The old dream of buying a boat, keeping it for life and passing it down, it's slipping away. But here's the kicker. It's not the end of sailing. It's a transformation. The passion's still there, the ocean still calls, but the way people answer that call is changing, faster than the industry can keep up. If we don't adapt, if we don't rethink what access to the water looks like, then this isn't just a market dip, it's a full-scale collapse. So, if you're in the sailing world, builder, broker, marina, old salt, or new dreamer, pay attention. The tide is turning, and if we don't shift with it, we'll all be left high and dry.